Hey guys, this is the PrinceofMacedon, and I'm doing a commentary video for Men of War. This is a multiplayer battle. I command the Soviet Union, and my opponent is Yury, in command of the USA. We are playing on the castle map here. Alright, and because nothing's happening right now, I'm going to take this time to do a recap on the action that happened in the first 5 minutes. And there was quite a bit of action. In the first 2 or 3 minutes, we had a infantry fight for the center of the castle. I managed to push his infantry out, but in doing so, my opponent sent a Willys MB Jeep, and he shot up my infantry from the sides as he came in through the flanks of the castle. And I countered by sending a T-34 into, around the castle, and I destroyed his Jeep. But in doing so, my tank got isolated by a flamethrower unit, so I went to chase his Jeep, and then my tank ended up on my opponent's side of the battlefield, and I had really no escape out of there, so my opponent destroyed my T-34 with a bazooka. And from that time on, I was losing in the score, so I think I've got you caught up to the current piece of action right now. Okay, so you saw a brief little skirmish right there, and that was my SMG squad taking out some flamethrowers. So at this point, my opponent gave up on trying to take the middle of the map. I now control the center, here it is. And now my opponent's going to try to strike me from my rear and from both sides. So now I am on the defensive now. But you can see some of my infantry, they are occupying the center here. That's the very middle of the castle. And yeah, if you look at this map, it's not very tank friendly. Like, there's so many places to get ambushed here. And you can see my infantry scattered here. I want to make sure my opponent doesn't sneak up on my tanks again. And I got tons of SMG infantry. I've got a few bazooka men. I think I have one actually. And then I have T-34s, a KV-1, and I think I rolled out an IS-2, I think, or an IS-3. But because of the nature of the map, my tanks can't really go on the offensive, not without some serious infantry support. Okay, so you can see the score on the top right there. I am losing by, I don't know, 5 or so points. I can't really read the score right now. But, yeah, I do have a plan. My plan is to break out of my opponent's, out of his noose, which is strewn around my army right now. Because he has infantry on, well, at least on this side. He might have some more on the other side. But I'm gonna try to slowly but surely break out of that. Because I was really expecting the battle to take place in the middle of the map, where the castle was, but then my opponent stopped fighting there. So, we both started off the battle pretty aggressively, but after I pushed my opponent's infantry out, my opponent got a little more, I guess, conservative. And after I lost my T-34 to that bazooka, I became a lot more conservative. And I could have went this way, but then my opponent showed up here with a anti-aircraft vehicle, M19, and that's basically an anti-aircraft vehicle, but the cannon on there can be used against ground targets too. Anyways, he actually came in and he destroyed the track on my T-34 there, but my T-34 blasted 2 of the crewmen inside that vehicle, and my T-34 is still firing, and I have a KV-1 here now. I'm going to push forward with this thing. I want to destroy that vehicle. That was a very courageous move by my opponent, but I want to punish him for that. And you can see on the top left that my T-34 on the message board, my T-34 actually shot into the hull of that vehicle, and it destroyed the crew members inside. And then my KV-1 shot another blast into that vehicle, and that destroyed the engine. So that thing's pretty much history. But I'm gonna keep firing anyways, just in case there's any units nearby, trying to repair it or do whatever to it. There's usually units around a vehicle, but I'm gonna keep firing. And see that I put a machine gunner right next to my KV-1 right there. See that right in the bushes? Yeah, I put my machine gunner right there so that my tank wouldn't be blind on that left flank there. So in case my opponent tried to sneak a unit nearby, I would be able to spot it and destroy it before it could sneak up on my tank. That was my plan anyways, but watch this. My opponent sneaks up on my tank anyways, and he wipes out my tank. And he did that right next to my machine gunner. So I was very disheartened by that, because I knew what was coming. And this is why I was saying this map isn't very tank friendly, but there's so many places to lose your tanks here. but that's fine because I think it's pretty fun playing like that. So you could just be using a lot of infantry on this map, and maybe some, I guess, like minimal armor support. Alright, here I rolled out the big boys. This is my IS-3. That is like the Soviet super tank. And this thing never really saw action in World War II, but it's in the game, and it's pretty sweet looking. I just hate playing against it though. Alright, so I used that and I blasted that house, but I thought that Soviet trooper was still there, but apparently he moved somewhere else. And he probably got away easily just because it took forever for my IS-3 to switch from an AP round to an HE round. It took like forever. Okay, so you can see this, I am losing big time now. Or not big time, but I'm losing by a whole lot more points now. Alright, so you can definitely see that I need a new plan right now, because my current plan of being holed up in my backline like this isn't really working to my advantage, because I'm on the defensive and I'm losing right now. So what I need to do is change the situation somehow. So I gotta push forward or something. Anyways, I'm moving up my infantry this way, and that's exactly my plan. I plan to launch at least a limited offensive right here. Here's my sweet IS-3. I'm gonna bash these buildings down, and that will clear some space for my tanks and their awesome cannons. And there I almost ran my guy over, but I made sure I stopped my tank in time. Now look at my guy, he's running back and forth. Alright, so there's my tank, he's still firing at something, and look, a unit appears, and that is a mortar unit. So I see a target for my tank, but that mortar unit is using an indirect fire, so I can't get a clear direct shot with my tank. And I'm afraid to get too close to that mortar, but I'm pretty sure there's units in front of that mortar. So if I move my tank forward, I might just lose my tank. And losing an IS-3 would cost me tons of points. But because there's only, what, 2.5 minutes left, I'm gonna have to take a more risky approach to this battle here, unless I'm content with losing. And sure, it's a game, but it's even more fun when you win. But, so I'm gonna back up, and I'm gonna come forward here. So this is a really, this is a very risky move here. There could be bazooka men, there could be SMG around, who have anti-tank grenades. Alright, so my tank sees something and he's gonna fire. But I'm gonna keep moving my tank here. I'm gonna look for that mortar unit, because that would get me some points. You can see I think I have like 66 points, and my opponent has 76. And I just gained 2 points right there, now I have 68 points. Look at the countdown, there's 1 minute and 50 seconds left. So my tank's still roaming around here. At any second my tank could just blow up, because I cannot see anything without infantry support. Alright, so I see his mortar right there, they're trying to escape. So I'm going to keep chasing him. I'm going to run across this bridge with my tank, and I really want to destroy those mortars. That was my intended objective in the first place. Alright, now I have 77 points, and now I'm winning. Now I have 79 points. So now I have to get out of there, because if I don't get out of there, my opponent can easily destroy my tank right there. Or he can disable it and destroy it. So I'm going to push that M19 out of the way, and I'm gonna run back to my lines here, because my tank is very, very vulnerable right there. Yeah, tank by itself is pretty much a goner. So there I took a huge risk, and it paid off, so I'm winning right now. And there's 1 minute and 5 seconds left. So I have gained the lead, but I haven't consolidated my lead yet. And with 1 minute left, there's still a lot of time for my opponent to do something really crazy and win the game. And look at the point differential. It's only 3 points, so my opponent can easily do anything, and that would swing the battle in his favor. So the last minute of this battle was like a very long minute, because I was waiting in anticipation of what my opponent might do. Alright, so my guys are ready, or at least they're as ready as can be. And there's one of my infantry guys. He is going to stand next to my tank, make sure he doesn't blow up my tank. And there's 17 seconds left. Let's see what happens, if anything. Anyways, my opponent is actually from Brazil. I thought he was Russian because of his name being Yury, but he told me he was from Brazil. So that was pretty cool. And finally the battle ends, and I win by only 3 points. That was a very good game to my opponent Yury. Hope you guys enjoyed this battle.